on the first calls that we had, just sort of the introductory webinars, just by way of presentation. It's Greg Van Kirk, and I am the founder and president of Social Entrepreneur Corp. I'm here in New York right now, so you may hear New York in the background every once in a while, so forgive me. But really some time, and keep it somewhat brief so that people can ask questions, because I think this is in particular where there'll be a lot of questions. I'll spend today talking about projects, social innovation projects that you'll be working on. And, you know, want to look at the overall frame of the project. A few is that, you know, I think, as you probably know and recognize, is the projects that the social innovation projects that you all are going to be focused this summer are things that, you know, not go down and respectfully, you know, build a house or putting in a new bridge, or, you know, the obviously relief work type projects that we're working on about social entrepreneurship, sustainable development, and you playing a really added role on the process. The countries where you all will be year-round, the projects are prioritized based upon our overall strategy, certainly in communication with and based upon the feedback and the priorities of communities. So you're not one-off projects; they're about build blocks, and it's about creating sustainable, high-impact social entrepreneurial solutions over the short term and the long term. So that's a piece to it. The second part is, you know, sort of the title we give you is consultor comunitario, which is community consultant. With us, teams work with the organizations that we support, work with entrepreneurs and communities that we support, consultants, engaged consultants, for the good of the community. So you're working with our overall community, and when we say community, a community consultant, consultor comunitario, we don't mean a physical community, but we could be a community of an organization itself, a community within a self-finance community bank, which we call FOCOPI. It can be a community of entrepreneurs. So think about community, not geographic sense, but community in terms of people who come together, a set of activities with a common mission, with interests. This that working with us as consultores comunitarios is we want you to get up to speed as quickly as possible to feel empowered to really work side by side with our team. You as students, we don't view you as coming in to go on a learning journey, but we view you as sort of respected members, professional members of our team who have to be with us, supporting us for a short period of time. Really beneficial to us. And with that respect, we'll treat you with that professionalism. Part is when we look at overall at the projects, conceptualize them and think about them. There are no different areas throughout. The first is somewhat of an evolution of any social innovation, of any project, let's say. The first, you help us with needs and wants analysis. We need to understand communities, understand what they need, what they want, what they prioritize, what's urgent, what's important, what doesn't work, what didn't work, what might work. Right? So we understand not just the real needs, but the perceived needs and the felt needs of communities. That's the first part. Based on you help us to design pilot projects and execute pilot projects. This is innovation. So we got to get out there, and the only way to relearn is to do. And fail often and to fail small. So you design those projects, you help us to execute those projects. So pilot execution. The third, support, organizational support, professional support for our team. how do people to self-actualize? How do we help? How do we put a value-added role in help people to be more successful? Because this work is obviously not institutions, but it's all about the people. And to that, the fourth part is scaling. Once we have a social innovation, once we're working with entrepreneurs or communities or organizations, and they're doing work, how do we help to come up with strategies and help support them to scale, to create more impact in more places? Is around evaluation. And our goal is that people become empowered. Our goal is that they'll have the solutions that need to solve problems. We need to continually be evaluating what we're doing, not just say, look, we did, but more importantly, to say, how can we do it better? So 5 areas are really the key areas of focus. And a given project, you may focus on 1, you may focus on 2. From an evolutionary perspective, it may be more in the 4th area of scaling, or maybe more around evaluation. But really, how we go about breaking our work. Final point, the precursor, is working in teams. Or anything that's done well requires teamwork. And that's really why we started Social Entrepreneur Core in the first place. Is that we needed more team members to do more and to be able to do better. So team is made up of other interns, other participants, and then you'll work within our overall team, which comes back to that first point. Is your team, we're a team working together, working groups, so to speak, on different things that we hope to achieve in different projects. But this is an overall team. View team members, fellow students, participants, interns as team members. View our team as your team. Yourself, Maria Luz, Madalena, folks who are global level as your team. View in other countries as your team. Community members as your team. So everybody is a part of the team of diagnosing needs and creating and building and scaling solutions. So overlay to this. In projects specifically. So where needs and opportunities in every country that we work? Guatemala, Nicaragua, Ecuador, the Dominican Republic, and Haiti. And how projects that are appropriate and are applicable and are important and are high impact in each one of those countries. Things that cut across every country. And work that we've created. We work prioritized projects. So we have 2 projects and 3 projects. Priority ones are things that we have based on our work, where we are, the situation, current opportunities, or based on what other organizations with whom we work have said are the most urgent projects. So look at yourself as a consultant is saying these are my priorities. So those are already 1 projects, and that's where we focus the majority, obviously. This is 2 projects. They're critically important, but maybe don't quite level of priority 1 projects, or quite simply, we can only have so many priority 1 projects, and so we have to have others that are priority 2. We have choices. Projects that are critically important, but for a variety of reasons, because of timing, because maybe it won't be as global as other ones, because I think you can best work on other projects, there are 2 projects. And projects are ideas that we have, things we've had in the past, things that we want to reinvigorate, or ideas that you have. You to have the opportunity to sit out and try out and discover of your interest. We might not have an environmental project, but maybe you're really interested in the environment. To be able to pursue that in part of your time in country. So, when we arrive in country, you'll be in teams. What those first days is present the overall more detailed and interactive way than I'm doing right now to all of the teams or to your teams. Ask you to preliminarily choose which your team wants to provide deliverables on. In the course of the time that you're in country, you know the work involved in that project, and then you're going to provide us with your analysis, your recommendations, the materials that you've created as a team. Those are your deliverables. Those are the things that you've created, we have in hand, or the organizations we support have in hand, and I think we can continue to use, and which will help to accelerate our work in areas where you focused. So use where you provide deliverables. That project in priority 1, that can be for 2, that can be for 3. Obviously, the more the better for us. Engaged and become is dedicated to it, but we want to focus on quality and not quantity. So teams, we're going to present the projects, and then you're going to pick some priority 1 projects. Where because you dedicate about 70% of your energy to priority 1 projects over your whole time in country. Like that may be a day or week-to-week basis, and that's a guideline. And priority 3, or maybe you'll discover some priority 3 projects along the way. With that, maybe 30% of your energy in the time you're in country. Again, guideline. The whole purpose of the guideline is simply to say, let's prioritize priority 1 projects more than we prioritize priority 2 or priority 3 projects. It's analytical, I know. So you have teams, you have projects, and each one of those, we have a description of what it is, the desired outcomes, the indicators of success, considerations, prompts, which are questions, and different materials that you can use to help you be successful in those projects. Go out in country and engage. And the key to all of this is engagement and learning and working with people to be able to learn successful deliverables and successful work on projects. Have work across every project in some way, shape, or form while you're in country. So you're saying we're prioritizing certain work doesn't mean you're not engaged in a lot of other work. And we all know that as you move forward in your work and you discover more, because this is a learning journey, that you may decide to emphasize one project or one thing more than another. You may decide to de-emphasize something and shift over to something else. That's fine. We just merely be in communication and reflect, and that you all are empowered as decision makers to go through that process and have the flexibility to make some of the alterations or modifications. The projects themselves are priority 1 projects. I've listed. And this one that we'll share with you, and I'll share with you a website where you can discover all of this and more at the end of this, if you don't have it already, as well as Socio-Solcom. Again, an overview, and then we can dive into the extent that you want to dive in more, but obviously you'll dive in a whole bunch of country. Solcom. Solcom is Soluciones Comunitarias, is the brand, the social enterprise that we're under sort of the umbrella of our work in the different countries where we work. Socio partner. And so the idea is we work with and many different entrepreneurs, micro-consignment model entrepreneurs, other entrepreneurs, many community bank members, many different organizations. And time of working in these countries. But the common identity. There's no way for us to holistically reach out or holistically, comprehensively to create peer-to-peer relationships. So can we create some type of a criteria, some type of structure or methodology where somebody can become a socio-solcom? They just from that, you amplify it, we celebrate them, and it helps us to create one common ID, one common narrative across our entire community. So really at the end of the summer, we have decided on a methodology whereby different member artisan groups or the artisan groups themselves and different micro-consignment model entrepreneurs and you and me and different finance key bank members can all say, I'm a socio-social calm. Means understand how they can engage with us better, understand how they can engage with each other better, to have the overlaps in the Venn diagram, to find out people can add strengths to meet other people's weaknesses, how we can address this all as a group. To note, what we used to do was we had our entrepreneurs are all our asesores comunitarios of Solcom, and we would have an annual meeting of all the comunitarios. This is not in many ways too dissimilar to that, but expand it from just the micro-consignment model entrepreneurs to everybody that we work with or have worked with. And the thousands, and then you think about the power of those relationships amongst each other and how we can much more effectively and efficiently reach out to people and find patterns and common needs. So that's one, socio-social calm. The second project we'll be working on is around social innovation technologies. Technology called Greybox. Greybox is a little CPU, a little computer that's durable and portable that we transferred from one community to another to be able to provide knowledge, to be able to provide communication. Okay. Data phase, it was designed by social innovators in Montreal. What they want us to do is to get out and figure out how this thing, what problems can this really solve in communities? How can we get it out to people? How can you create distribution? Can we learn more? So think about any technology that's developed in the developing world and get out and get a feedback loop and figure out how actually it can really support in the developing world. Concept to reality. So that's Greybox. Greybox in each country that you'll be able to pass around between teams. This is drop. So the vast majority of the people where you're working do have access to clean water. They have water, may have a water filter. They use chlorine, although most people don't use chlorine, but they have access to clean water, so not clean water from the tap. Mine is a small, is a small bar that you can put into a container. You continually pour water in that container, and it's colloidal silver. It can provide clean water 6 months. This impacts on lives and providing clean access to clean water. Developed by a company in Charlottesville, Virginia. Today have primarily in the developing world through Chile, and learned a social enterprise model. Get this to people over the last mile in the countries where you will be, but in other countries. And we are tasked as a team to try to figure out what's the size model. This out to folks so that access to and get access to clean water in a sustainable way. So that's my. The third project, which is a priority one project, is community consulting for grassroots organizations. In short, in the different where you'll be in the different regions, there are all kinds of amazing local organizations. Support that they need. You're local, they don't have access to, how to plan, how to build a strategic plan, how to connect with people outside of the country or the region they are. You need a whole host of things. How to analysis. So what us to do in the sort of the value that we provide is short-term consulting, is to meet with these different types of organizations, be them tourist organizations or art organizations, schools or what have you. They're different everywhere where you are. So can you provide us with some short-term support for some of our priority needs? And so they get out as consultants and learn these organizations and figure how you can help them and provide deliverables for them. So that particular is where we're providing a service to another organization. And that's incumbent upon us to help them come up with solutions and provide them with some of those solutions. What is Soluciones Comunitarias? The local brand, local sort of and mechanism that we use with the leaders comunitarias, the leaders, be it the local leadership, may have some priority projects for areas, if you look at it through the lens of Soluciones Comunitarias being an organization, that are significant, very particular, where they want consulting support from you. So they present that to you. Priority one projects is we were looking to find out, and this really came from even exploring Entrepreneur Corps back in 2009, 2010. How could we help people start community banks where they contributed the money? It helped them to save money. It helped them to access credit at lower rates. So people to form their own banks, because people already do this on an informal basis in every country. It's something very prevalent, but short-term transactional things. And there are models that were developed by other social entrepreneurs to help to how to form these self-finance community banks. And so we asked ourselves, how can we help? How can we do this? And over time, we started in Haiti, and then we expanded to the DR, and we expanded to Guatemala, Nicaragua, and Ecuador, and other countries where we work. And of success and at different levels of penetration, because every country is a bit different, and priorities at different times are a bit different. And did this self-finance community bank model as FOCOPI, an acronym for Voluntario, Prevención y Inversión, the Fund for Prevention and Investment. What is that people most access and where they need the most access to funds is to process in the family, rent money for the schools, for their child's school education, a funeral, somebody got robbed, who knows? So prevention, to keep people from slipping back into the cycle of poverty. Investment, invest in a new door on their house, invest in a business for their daughter, what have you. So we sort of reshaped this model, called it FOCOPI. Bit by bit, found more success in different places. And so we want you to help us work, study banks, learn from these banks, learn from others on how we can expand this model with agility, but by the same token, how can we help to go deeper in how we support the communities? Because the key success in all of this, and this goes to the whole point of Socio-Solcom, is social capital. Social is the primary instrument whereby so much profound development happens. It's people together, coming together, building trust, working together. Solcom, and we conform with the entrepreneurs of the micro-consignment model that exists within organizations with whom we support, that exists in FOCOPI, right? Where you have that social capital, the question is, how can you leverage it to learn more and do more to support those folks? So the benefit of itself is hugely impactful, but by the same token, simply the fact that people are getting together and saying, we work together, provide so many more opportunities. So with that, how do we go broad? How do we scale? But also, how do we go deep? We have a group coming down actually tomorrow in Guatemala to help us work at these very challenges too, where we can hand those deliverables over to you. The other is around personal and professional development. So with entrepreneurs how to work with our team, provide them with what about, but then in addition to that, to where they need to, where there are challenges, where opportunities for develop personally and professionally. So if you look, obviously going back to that point, as much as this about, we're all how to thrive and develop from a personal and professional perspective. The folks with whom we engage, how can better we can serve them? Where to thrive personally. So if they're really the instruments of change, how to try to be supportive of them. So we have different methodologies. We have different ways in which we see that this happens from other organizations and ways we want to go about doing this. But you meet any folks on our team or on other or other individuals, other professionals, where lacking access professionally and personally, and where can we ideally play some type of value-added role. And the last under the Priority 2 projects is around working with youth. So, I'd say the youth in all the countries where we work is and continues to grow. Opportunities for youth to be able to create their own productive projects, to be able to solve their own problems, their own community problems. Work with youth has an incredible long-term impact, an effect on the community and obviously on the youth themselves. So basic stuff underlying this, there are organizations already, obviously, that have ways of creating empowerment projects, of bringing youth together to grow businesses, to solve their own problems, analyzing what those different types of methodologies are, getting out and learning and engaging with the community, see if there are youth groups that we can help form, which is something that we call Jóvenes de Impacto, so impact youth. The different methodologies that are there, engage with our team, engage with different community members, and help us to devise this type of a youth impact. The three, if I can note in all of these projects, is you look at any of the projects, who do you want to learn from? It's everybody. You want to be in stations with our team, with your homestay families, with your Spanish teachers, with community members, with organization members, with our team members. Everything that you engage with is an opportunity to further along these projects, to ask them about clean water, to ask about technology and communities, to ask them about what it means to be a part of a community group and what's missing, and what SOCOM might look like, to ask them about their children and their youth, and where are they empowered, where are they disempowered, to ask how they bank. So look, everybody that you engage with is an opportunity to learn, is an opportunity to help further your and our understanding of how to go about applying all of this. And then Priority 3 projects, some different ideas. Certainly I have some things, and we'll have some different pet projects. But you want also those to come from you. If you have a site that we've developed, which is intended specifically for you all, put on to everybody and provide further description, which is called Consultor Comunitario, CONSULTOR, MUNTIO.org. There is on that where we are finishing up all the projects and information that you will need for those projects. Ideally, obviously, you'll need more, so you can visit that. There's all the stuff on that site to be able to provide opportunity to learn more, get more up to speed, to be able to really hit the ground running. But things is this line for the different work that you'll be doing, needlessly, it can change. Have country leadership there that is is looking at priorities. We're all in sync on this so that we can all be providing support to each other. But there be opportunities to do some other things, or something might slightly change, or there might be an argument for, hey, this is really a priority 1 versus a priority 2. Work through that with you. The second part is descriptive. Obviously, we want to be able to provide some guidance here as to what are the most important things that the most important opportunities that we see. But with these frameworks, we want to be able to provide the opportunity for all to be able to be innovative and to create and work together. And this isn't about being prescriptive and saying, do this, do that. It's more saying, here's some priority desired outcomes. Here's what you as community needs. We want to entrust you to address those and provide you the support that you need all along the way to do the best job possible. You can communities, but learn a ton along the way about how to do this work, how to be effective, and the approach and methodology that you can take away and use in whatever you end up doing after the program. Leave it there, and I hope that was helpful. I'll reach out with questions and concerns and any comments. Ones to say that we don't have it all figured out, and it's a continued learning journey for us. And we look forward to taking the learning journey together.
If anyone wants to jump in with any questions, just make sure that you unmute your mic and maybe introduce yourself with name and which program you're going to be joining.
Hi.
Phyllis?
Yeah, hi. I'm Phyllis. I'll be in Ecuador for the...
Phyllis, forgive me, I can't hear you super well. Any way you can I don't know, get a or anything?
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you, and I'll put the question back to everybody else just to make sure that everybody got it too. So thank you, Phyllis.
Okay, I'm Phyllis, and I'll be going for the program in Ecuador. My question is there anything we can do before the trip? Because I'm not a student and I really like experiences like development studies and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, please. So if you look on Comunitario in particular, a host of resources and up to speed in the beginning. So there's a tab that says Essentials. We have articles that are written by us and written by others about our work, so that you can learn about our approach, learn more about it. Videos and TED Talks and such with yours truly, so that you can learn more about it. And there's essential information all about the country and everything. So please, the more that you get a read before you head out, the more you can really hit the ground when you're there. We have resources, are all types of resources around, survey and different examples of surveys or teamwork or, business plans and all of that that's there for you. Certainly look at that and dive deeper. I'll have a page on models, so you can learn about the different models that we've created or that others have created that are contributing to this work. There are a lot of different things there. There's also a page with different organizations and and different things to learn about the field. So a deep dive on this as much as possible before you get there, but as well, when you're there, you'll have access to all of this, and coursework that I'll write in a subsequent email, where you can where you can participate in some coursework around this and really learn as you go and be able to really reflect and put it all in one place. To the extent that you ever feel like content, you feel overwhelmed, you feel like I don't know how to do this, I don't have resources, please reach out to us. We provide you with whatever support we can. Success is our success, and we want to make sure that you are empowered as much as possible while you're out there doing this.
Yeah.
Thanks, Phil. Any other preguntas?
Compared to like the other evenings. Sorry, I'm too nice.
Hey, Greg, Andrew here.
Hey, what's up, Andrew?
I want to emphasize that point you made about the socio-social calm kind of penetrating all of this.
Hey,
We have a group right now with.
Can you introduce yourself real quick?
Oh yeah, sure, sorry. I'm the country leader here in Guatemala, and I'll be working obviously with the Guatemalan team. I've been down here for about 3.5 years or so, and so this socio-social idea is relatively new. And so as we've been exploring it, and we have a group right now, a 2-week program that's the first group to explore this, and what we're finding is there's the community consultant priority 1, right? There's socio-social calming community consultant, and really they're 2 pieces of the same thing is what we're finding. And so I really want to emphasize that point kind of as you're getting into that mindset of how all of this ties together. When you're working specifically for, an organization that's a bee farm that's looking to create a marketing strategy, in the bigger picture, that gets added to Solcom's portfolio of organizations through who we've worked, and it gives us a better idea of what organizations might be interested in, and then we have a little mini case study of what we've been able to do for market analysis in the past. And so I just really want to emphasize that as going to be a key to the projects when you get down here, is really frame everything that you do under that bigger umbrella of build relationships with organizations and understanding and serving their needs.
Important, Andrew, and I do think when we, anybody from our team on the call, I think when we, I think that fault of anyone, it's just human nature and certainly business nature. It can be very easy to get. I would say from that is really looking at the trees and be so in it, you're so engaged, and not stepping back and looking at the forest. And social entrepreneurship is about trees and forests, right? It's about individual impact, but about scale impact. And so you need to see patterns and learn where there's broad applicability. And so I think exactly to emphasize Andrew's point, if fighting with somebody who often runs a beekeeping business, which some of you will do, the natural thing, obviously, is he's saying, hey, here's what's important for my beekeeping business. And the priority. He has prioritized that. And so that's first and foremost we do. We meet him where he is. But by the token, he's a leader. He's a saint. He understands his community far better than we ever will. Let's talk about this idea of socio-social calm. But as well, let's ask clean water. Let's ask him about technologies. Let's ask him about youth. Let's ask where does he need professional development. So everybody has an opportunity to learn, not just learn from educate us, but he's going to educate us on strategy. On this is what you should do. You should talk to, right? So every person that you talk to, you go out to a community, you can support maybe a vision campaign, or you're there to support, something with one of social innovations. A community full of people who know that community. You can all be getting up and going out and engaging and asking. And by the way, if you want us to improve, that's the way to do it. Out and having conversations and making a jackass out of yourself. Saying the stupid things as any of us have done that have learned the language. I said that I was married when I was trying to say I was tired. And through that engagement also, you really learn about the people and trigger your empathy and understand the culture better. So hugely important point, Andrew. I'll go mine.
Yeah, I'm going to go to the Works Ecuador project. And I had a question about the Spanish, actually, just a practical question. Intermediate, I can communicate these, I think, but I mean, how, if we're probably going to consult on something business related, my Spanish at the moment at least isn't good enough for that, I feel. Would there always be someone who can translate or work?
Yeah, they will. Thank you, Emma. Emma, where are you from?
Norway, or half Russian, Norwegian.
All right. Well, very good. Where right now? So to with your question, two things. On first of all, to your direct question, is yes, you have our team, have another team member who is bilingual, has fluency. There may be cases where that isn't all the time, simply for structural reasons, but that is the vast majority of the case. Having said all that, if you're here, and this is makes it sound easier than they are, you can it's how to frame the questions and all that, but I think you will be able to communicate and understand and get answers far better than you would have imagined. And so overall for anybody, I wouldn't let that we have obviously, in terms of designing the questions to make them simple and such, that's something that we work with you on. We have designs that you can work off of. As well, the folks that we're working with understand that we're from Ecuador and that there's a slight language barrier. So, we get to meet in the middle there a little bit. So, I worry, but by the same token, yes, you'll have support.
Thank you. It's great.
Emma. Okay.
All right.
10 minutes early. If you had planned on being called for an hour, you have gained 10 minutes of your life. Go do something fun for 10 minutes. And thank you all so much. I really appreciate you time to go down and work with, and certainly taking the time out of your busy schedules, or very late at night if you're in Europe or in other places, to have this conversation. I think that we understand the framework and the expectations beforehand, the more successful that we are. So, muchísimas gracias. Y que tengan muy buena noche o muy buen día. And, así es. Gracias.
Thank you, Greg. Thank you, everyone. And we will share the recording with you. There will be we'll send you an email, but also it will be available on the website that Greg shared with you. It's here in the chat. So check it out, and it's a tremendous resource to help you out, get ready for the program. Yeah, I will say good night and good rest of the day.
Ciao. Gracias.
Ciao, ciao.